When I first saw this, I believed that it's a troll, so I did a little bit of investigation. Turns out that there are Telegram Russian accounts that are promoting this. It's beyond hilarious. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section. So what do you think? Is this legit or is it a troll? Apparently, this is a promo to attract people to travel to Russia. And don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of nice places to visit in Russia. There's a lot of monasteries. There's a lot of interesting things. None of them are here. I mean, the first thing you see is the hammer and sickle. I understand that communism played a big part in Russian culture, but I guarantee to you, people from the West that go into Russia as part of tourism don't go there because they want to see communism. But anyway, right, let's look at this. I mean, this is just the most hilarious thing you're ever going to see.
This is Russia. Delicious cuisine.
So you're not showing a 3-star Michelin restaurant. You're showing someone cooking in a pot, making some borscht in the middle of goddamn nowhere. I mean, don't get me wrong. Going out in nature to cook is not a bad thing, but why would I have to go all the way to fucking Russia to do it? And cook for myself? Why can't I just go here in a forest? Like, why do I have to travel all the way there?
Delicious cuisine. Beautiful women.
Why would you say beautiful women and show me 2 little girls? What the fuck is wrong with you? And by the way, like someone said here, actually by someone I mean Shuanhead. Why is the narrator's voice sounding like this?
My dick is in love with pain.
Like what? Why couldn't they choose a better narrator? Holy shit.
Beautiful women. Cheap gas.
Not gonna lie, the gas is very cheap in Russia right now, but what they failed to mention is that, if I'm not mistaken, 20% of their country is without gas or electricity. It's due to the rural areas, by the way. Like in the further corners of the country, they aren't connected to the grid. This is a problem in Romania as well, but it's a lot higher in Russia. A lot of people probably don't know this. They don't talk about this on the internet as much. You know, like many people, they have this, I don't know, utopian view of Russia just because they aren't connected to the grid. This is a problem in Romania as well, but it's a lot higher in Russia. A lot of people probably don't know this. They don't talk about this on the internet as much. You know, like many people, they have this, I don't know, utopian view of Russia just because the Russian president isn't woke. I got news to tell you, it's not a really nice place to live in. I mean, there are places worse than Russia to live in, but notice how you don't see Americans getting on a plane excited to go and buy a house in Russia. And you don't see people in Eastern Europe doing that either. People vote with their feet. Where it's a good place to live in, you don't need promos. You just have people moving there. Like, for example, people from California are now moving into Mexico. Like, that tells me that parts of Mexico are far better than California.
Rich history.
I mean, all of Europe has rich history. And again, like, why the fuck are you showing communism?
World famous literature.
Wait. Aren't these... Isn't this a Ukrainian? Chat. Isn't this a Ukrainian? Well, at this point, like, why not? You know, like, I guess it's a little bit of propaganda. Like, throw it in there and like, well, Ukraine belongs to Russia. The thing is, like, I genuinely think this is a poll. There is no way this is not satire. There is just no way. Either that, or they're like, well, the foreigner is dumb. The fuck does they know? You know, and then they just plaster in a cheaply made compilation of pictures with this guy's voice, and they call it a day.
World famous literature. Unique architecture.
I mean, I guess those communist blocks that are very fucking depressing with, you know, like the brutal architecture of the Soviet Union can be considered unique. Although, no, actually, no, wait, it's not unique. Because it exists all over the Eastern Europe. Like everywhere communism went, you have the same architecture.
Fertile soil.
It's like the most interesting sales pitch ever. It's like, come to our country, we have fertile soil.
Cheap electricity and water.
Yeah, we already discussed this.
Ballet.
This is like probably one of the things that is interesting. Like, yeah, this is Russian when you think about ballet, but is this really compelling for you to go into another country and live there? It's like, oh, let's go there. Why? They have ballet. Holy shit. Do they have VTubers as well?
Cheap taxi and delivery. Traditional values.
You know, like, this is something that you could attract Westerners to go there. But why the fuck would I go to Russia when I can go to Hungary? I mean, if you want traditional values, you can go to Poland.
Christianity.
What they failed to mention is that I believe around 8,000 mosques have been opened since Putin became president. They don't really talk about that, do they?
No cancel culture.
Oh, get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Haven't there people been arrested because they were against the war in Ukraine? I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, the same cancel culture in the US doesn't exist in Russia, but it's different. Like, there's different things that get you canceled in Russia. I remember, like, seeing police officers looking at people's smartphones on the streets just to see what messages they were typing. Like, there is cancel culture in Russia. You can get in massive problem with the law. So it's not like they have a free speech. Okay, I mean, look. If you're a person that promotes LGBT activism in Russia, you get canceled, right? It's just like different things. Now, you can agree, like, oh, well, you know, the things that Russia cracks down upon are reasonable. Like, you can agree with that. I'm not saying you can't. But there is a cancel culture. Like, it's not a free speech haven.
Culture. Hospitality. Vodka.
Go to Russia, become a drunk, become an alcoholic. You know, this is actually a major problem for Russian health. Usually, when you look at the stats, they talk about drunkenness in Europe. And you see, oh, well, it's kind of compatible, right? Like, Russia's, you know, like, drunkenness per capita is kind of similar to that of Romania. Yeah, but, like, not all booze is made the same. Like being drunk with beer or being drunk with wine, Naruhodo, is not the same like being drunk with vodka. This was actually like a historical problem in Russia. This is why a lot of movies that you get to see, especially made during the communist era, they have the peasantry or the working class destroying the distilleries. Because like they legitimately have a problem with alcohol. And it's mostly due to the climate. I mean, it's incredibly cold over there. So a lot of people end up drinking to warm themselves up. Which is, by the way, a very bad thing to do.
Economy that can withstand thousands of sanctions.
Yeah, for now. I mean, the thing with the sanctions, Americans, like, when the politicians flap their mouth, blah, 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 blah. The whole purpose of the sanctions is to make Europe be independent again. Like, during the Cold War, the West won, okay? And they didn't trade with Russia. Did you remember that? Like, what didn't that happen? The problem is that Europe, especially Germany, has become very reliant on Russia. Now, of course, you know, learning to walk is incredibly difficult. It's going to be incredibly costly. But the thing is, like, over the long run, like 10 or 15 years from now, hopefully Europe is not going to be dependent on Russia. And these sanctions are actually going to hurt Russia on the long run. Remember, they collapsed during the Cold War because they weren't able to trade with the West. Like, that happened. Okay, historically speaking, it happened. Now, the problem is that the West still trades with China. But, you know, like baby steps, I guess.
Thousands of sanctions. Time to move to Russia.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Don't delay. Winter is coming.
Yeah, holy fucking shit. I would not encourage people to move to my country, which is not Russia. But when you have minus 20 degrees Celsius, it's not fun. It's not fun. But in Russia, you get even lower temperatures. Holy shit. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.